Understand that, although ADA has bled in terms of price along with everything else, it's doing something very different than the rest of the space. It's one of the few assets that has not set a new lower low. In fact, we're continuing to see strong fundamentals for ADA. And I have to say that I stumbled across something on the BTC chart, on the total chart, that is actually indicating we may have a major reversal ahead of us in the crypto market. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice. I'm not trying to spew, hopium into anybody or anything like that, but I do need to show you guys what I found. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA right now is about 57 cents. It's been a green day overall. And hopefully that continues as the day rolls on. It's about 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see if there are any surprises. We know we have FOMC meeting minutes coming today, and hopefully there's some positivity that comes from that. But ADA's gotten very comfortable in these ranges. Yes, we're seeing some volatility up and down, but if you guys haven't noticed, what we're seeing on a fundamental level for ADA is accumulation and hoarding. And this is a very big deal. In fact, this week alone, we have seen $20 million worth of ADA actually accumulated and removed from exchanges. And this has been a very consistent theme for a very long period of time. And what it shows you is ADA has this extreme level of conviction, which again is why it has not been setting these lower lows like many other assets in the space, BTC included. Now, what is very interesting here is I stumbled across something in the BTC chart on the weekly, in the total chart on the weekly, that are actually indicating we have major reversals ahead in the crypto market. So first of all, when we're looking at BTC, we're sitting at a very important level in terms of that 50-week moving average. You guys can see price floating right around there. Understand that BTC does not like to close candles below here, first of all, in bull market cycles. I don't know if it's frankly ever happened. Just want to quick take a look back. Sorry, guys. I think the only time is the COVID crash. The COVID crash is the weird outlier in the history of crypto, but BTC does not like to close candles below here. In fact, we do have a CME gap to the upside, meaning that the latter part of the week will probably, not guarantee, of course, will probably bring some green as the market does in fact try to close that. We have obviously a CPI report tomorrow, which could bring some green. But what I thought was the biggest thing worth noting here was we are actually seeing some hidden bullish divergence playing out on the BTC chart. So first of all, we did actually have some bearish divergence. You guys can see that playing out here on the RSI, tops dropping on the RSI, tops increasing on BTC price. And so that is, of course, what led us to this drop overall here. However, what we are also seeing here is actually hidden bullish divergence. So we're actually seeing these bottoms on the drop here, and we are actually seeing Bitcoin bottoms on the rise. So that is a good sign. And what that typically means for those that aren't familiar is a continuation to whatever the trend is. And the trend is bullish. It's a rising trend. And that might actually be indicating that we have some green in the not so distant future. But that's not where it stops. When we're actually looking at the total market cap of crypto, we're seeing a very similar trend. Again, we had that bearish divergence playing out, right? Tops increasing, tops dropping, which led us to this drop in terms of price. But now, again, we have hidden bullish divergence playing out. So these are actually very good things for the crypto market. Now, there's a viewer that actually brought up the Wyckoff accumulation model, saying that, we need to still get to the spring. We're going to see the spring level in this Wyckoff accumulation, and we still need to see lower lows in terms of ADA. But I think we need to look broader. We need to look at the overall crypto market. And in fact, when we look at the total market cap of crypto here, what we're actually seeing is Wyckoff accumulation model playing out essentially to perfection here. And what this shows is we may actually be in this spring phase currently. This may be where we actually get our drop and our pop, and we start retesting and working our way to the upside. Now, this isn't a guarantee or financial advice or anything like that. And when we're looking at the overall, whoa, I need to hide this. And when we're looking at this weekly chart in terms of the total market cap of crypto, there is a range here where that does not like to drop below. The only other time it's really done that is, either entering a bear market cycle or back in the COVID crash. The COVID crash is just the weird outlier again for the crypto market that doesn't historically happen. But what we can see is we actually got very close to this 100-week moving average. And unless we're falling into a bear market cycle or we have a weird worldwide economic event that drops everything to some insane lows, this is where we may in fact see a bounce. We don't necessarily have to go lower here, but just note that that level is at about $2.24 trillion in terms of the total market cap of crypto. What that is currently is about an 8% drop overall. That's probably about 6% in terms of BTC, 12% in terms of alts. How that would relate to ADA is somewhere again, essentially a double bottom right down here at about 51 cents or so. BTC again dropping. Oh, let's see, where would that put BTC? About what I say, about 6%. That put us down at about that 72K range or so, which coincidentally is a range that people have talked about. But that's kind of the bigger, broader assessment I'm looking at in terms of the crypto market right now. Again, we keep talking about, you get to a point where conviction starts to take over, where the bears, they just don't have enough momentum to keep making things drop, right? Now, some things that could throw a little twist in here, could throw a little curveball our way. If inflation numbers start to come back really hot because of tariff fears and people, rushing out and buying stuff, which again, I'm in the auto industry, in my 9-to-5 job outside of my many businesses I have seen people panic buying. All right. Which means that the demand on vehicles has risen. I am seeing vehicle prices on the used side on the rise. So just note that, whether it's this CPI report or the next CPI report, we will probably see some sort of impact from that. But it's a question of how much impact do we see with everything else? We do know that oil prices have been dropping, which means that we're probably going to see oil and energy on the drop. So we may actually get this mixed bag where the economic data actually continues to improve, which is really good because that again is accelerating us towards the conclusion of quantitative tightening, heading towards quantitative easing. Well, it also means that we're very quickly accelerating towards interest rate decreases. And if things get bad enough in the stock market, don't rule out, emergency rate cuts. I mean, there's a lot of things right now that, although the tariff noise is really loud, there are things that are actually working very much in our favor. So the biggest thing we have to just do is frankly be patient. People can always do what they want, right? If you want to dump, if you don't think things are going to be higher in a few months, then unload your position. Then move on, right? Try to pick up lower lows. And frankly, I think there are a lot of people that won't be doing that because this is the time where playing games gets you in a lot of trouble. Hoping for really low lows gets you in a lot of trouble. All right. So I just want to share that with you guys. I appreciate it as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think comes next? Do you see this massive rally taking place sometime in the next few months? But have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.